This is going to be a good one because we've never met before, have we, Lucy? A good bit about the beginning of this is you'll be able to explain what you do, where your enthusiasms are as far as food is concerned, because this is about food, and we have JP with us. Hello, JP.
Hello, good afternoon or good morning.
And you are a restaurateur.
I am indeed.
And a chef.
I'm a chef.
Anything else? Rugby player? Do you still play rugby?
No more. Too much damage in my body.
Lucy, what's your background? What have you done?
Other than just eating a lot of food.
Do you write about it?
No, I occasionally photograph what I cook, and if I feel particularly pleased with it, and put it on Instagram or Facebook or something equally sad. But no, I don't. I'm a keen amateur cook.
And I think from what Chris Matthews told me, the whole family is kind of that way inclined. Is that right?
Yeah, we're all quite into it.
So at what level? How into it?
Well, sociable, entertaining. Well, yeah, entertaining. Nothing more than that. I mean, I've sort of flirted with the idea of supper clubs and that sort of thing, but never done anything about it.
And supper clubs, when you just invite people, open invite to your house to sit down and eat like a little restaurant.
Yes, I quite like the idea of that, but I've never sort of acted on that idea.
When did you start cooking, JP? It's a long story. I think I started cooking when I was about 12, 10, 8. I always cooked, but it was not the initial idea. The initial idea to be a barman. I didn't want to have a chef because chefs are horrible. So I didn't want to have a business with a chef. And I ended up having a restaurant, working at the front of a restaurant, and eventually going at the back of the restaurant and becoming a chef. Then like that, I didn't have to answer to anyone anymore.
And how much of your kind of working week is in the kitchen?
I don't know, 80 hours.
80?
Yes.
80?
80.
Wow.
Something stupid. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Since Tuesday last week, so Tuesday, whatever it was, the 30th, 28th, whatever it is.
Well, this is prepping from early in the morning and markets and things like that?
So I did 10 days on the go so far, 10, 11, 12 days, isn't it?
Wow.
12 days non-stop. So it's about 5 hours sleep a night, and that's it.
Wow.
That's your busiest time though, right?
Yeah. But we had the music festival as well, so that doesn't help. But it's good for business. But when anybody says, I want to open a restaurant, I don't think they know what's waiting around the corner. That's bad.
Is that why so many fail, I guess?
I think so. I think you have to go and work, see what it is, and if you can work for someone about 14 hours a day, then you can open your own, and you have to love it.
Well, I think on the kind of the TV kind of cooking shows, you get a much more of an insight into how intense it can be.
Yeah.
Have you ever done kind of commercial kitchen stuff? Have you ever?
I worked in as a youngster. I worked in what is now the Mute Swan for years when it was Langan's Brasserie.
Yeah.
That's how I know Chris.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then it was Langan's and then the Hampton Court Brasserie.
When was it Blue Becker's? Was it
Blue Becker's after that?
Yeah, I got food poisoning there.
Did you?
Yeah. Really bad.
It's been lots of different sort of iterations over the years. And I worked in there as a waitress, but never did any cooking.
But you could see what the environment was like.
And it is, like you say, it's intense, really, really intense.
It's hard. It's very hard because you don't know from one day to the next. One, if you're going to be busy. Two, if people are going to like it, and you can't please everyone. That's impossible. If somebody will say, we love the restaurant, and some people say, I don't like it. And there's no reason.
No.
You know, they might not like your wife because she looks prettier than the woman that comes in. And it does happen. It does. You know, they come in a restaurant and suddenly they've got a long face. You say, well, you're coming out. You should be happy. somebody's going to cook for you, serve you, clean for you, and do everything for you, and then they've got a long face when they come in. What's going on? What's the point of coming in out? You know, it's very strange. Friday night is the worst because they're all starving. They finish work.
Grumpy.
And they were grumpy because blood sugar is low and that's it. They want to eat now. And the way of eating nowadays is completely different. People are always in a rush.
Have you changed your menu because of changing kind of attitudes to eating out?
I think you change your speed of cooking.
Right.
So
you must change ingredients or
no, you don't change the menu, but you just get used to it. So because I've been in the business for such a long time now, is since I was, let's say, 14, so that's 46 years. You know how long it's going to take for people to eat their starters. So you can start cooking before they finish eating their starter. Then the main course is there. So being a chef is not only cooking. It's thinking about everything else. And that's what there is difference between cook and chefs. Anybody can cook. Not everybody can be a chef. Dishing out, for example, in, let's say, 2 hours, starter, main course, desserts for 50 people, and you got 3 in the kitchen, that's work. And that's being a chef. But it's very different.
I must admit, I love cooking. Mm-hmm. I do a lot of cooking, but I would never want to be a chef.
Yeah,
never in a million years.
You know, it's hard. It's a hard job. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You have to love it, otherwise you don't do it.
Are you one of these kind of chefs that gets a buzz? Like when you come out of when you come out of service in the evening,
yes.
are you kind of buzzing?
You're happy. I'm happy when I'm busy. The busier I am, and the busier I am, the happier I am. You know, his stress level is enormous.
Are you shouty?
Not that much.
I bet he's a bit shouty.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet he's shouty.
I don't swear.
No.
The F word is not in the kitchen, ever.
No.
And I don't swear my staff neither.
Do you throw things?
I say it, but I don't swear. I don't think it's necessary.
No.
And I usually is indirectly having a go.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fair.
I swear in my kitchen.
Do you? Who at?
The kids, the husband, the dog.
What have you cooked this week, Lucy, that you've taken a picture of?
Nothing this week. It's a funny week for me because like the children are... my daughter's finished her A-levels, so she's out all the time. My son's doing his cricket week at school, so he's been out most evenings. So it's been an odd... my husband Will was away first 2 nights of the week, so it's not been a sort of
dinner for one.
A family cooking sort of week, really. So my youngest son has been sort of having a bowl of pasta when he comes home from school, and then it's been a picky week.
So what about the last picture of something that you took then? Can you cast your mind back to when you got the camera out and thought, right, yeah, that's going up?
Well, we went to Mexico last year, and so we got quite into doing sort of tacos and things like that.
Moles.
They're not moles, but like, you know, fish tacos and kind of jalapeno margaritas.
I think Mexican cooking is actually quite underrated.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think, JP? Well, obviously French is going to be your first love, but...
No, I like all food. So it's not only French. And when I cook, sometimes I cook dishes, and there is Caribbean influence, Japanese influence, Mexican influence. You know, I use spices from everywhere, and I play with food. So, for example, if I do a tuna, I will do tuna teriyaki. It's got nothing to do with French.
No, very nice.
But it's cooked the French way because I serve it rare.
Yes.
And I cut my loin like a sashimi.
Oh, right, okay, so hardly touched.
It's just totally raw in the middle. Hot on the outside, but cold in the middle.
That's the only way, isn't it?
And the teriyaki that I use is the sticky one. So it's like a
reduced,
like a very syrupy one.
Yeah.
So it sticks to the tuna. And it's quite nice.
Sounds nice.
It's only in the morning, but I'm feeling
Okay.
hungry already. They say, I heard something on the radio just yesterday that the reputation of English cuisine or London cuisine has gone up
Yes.
dramatically
Absolutely.
in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
That before it's fairly poor, but now it's up there with the rest of the world.
Yeah, I've been here for 39 years and I've seen a massive difference. You know, it's, in the 80s it was Nouvelle Cuisine.
Yes.
But if you think about it, Nouvelle Cuisine came from Japan.
Yeah.
The
Delicate
big
presentation.
big chef from France went to Tokyo, took everything from there, brought it back to France, and then developed Nouvelle Cuisine. So if you think about it, little quantities, beautifully presented. That's typical of Japanese plates.
Do you ever go kind of delicately presented to the family?
No. I mean, I think this sort of most people's style of cooking these days has changed from sort of what people say fine dining, you know, and it's much more family style and sort of sharing plates and a nice abundant amount of food in the middle of a table and everybody sort of digging in. But then that is the family style, and as a
It's true.
but I think the restaurant scene that you're mentioning, the London scene, I think it's changed from being, you know, people don't necessarily want to go out and have dinner and have it sort of, you know, really, really sort of fancy. People want nice quality, but I think that idea of fine dining is there's obviously still a market for it, but I think people tend to want to be more casual these days.
Nice and relaxed.
Do you think that's because we're eating out more?
Yeah, probably.
So we want more quicker, better, less fussy food.
I think people are more. I think they're discerning now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say people weren't discerning back then, but it's
true.
more people eat out. The sort of idea of you can go to high street, even the high street chains like Nando's and Wagamama's and whatever, and have decent, affordable food, and it's always good and it's always consistent. And I think that's quite key.
I complain more these days.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't know whether it's just my age or whether it's actually because I've watched too many Master Chefs or I've done too much cooking myself. But I know when something is poor.
Yeah.
And I don't accept it anymore. Whereas I think when I was younger or less experienced,
but that's also the rise in the number of people doing quality cooking at home. In as much as there's so much on TV of Jamie Oliver and all the other celebrity chefs. Lots more people cook. I don't know the statistics, but I would say lots more people cook well in their own homes, which makes you more critical when you go out.
Yeah. Have you experienced that? People coming in thinking they're...
Yeah, they think they're a chef.
Yeah, and they go, what is this?
See, that is the issue I always will have, is people can cook, I don't dispute that, but they think they are chefs. And, I will take them in my kitchen half a day just for one service, and they will understand what really cooking is.
Maybe that's what every diner should experience.
Yeah, and maybe they will understand why it takes the time it takes.
Yes.
When you cook from fresh. In our kitchen there is no microwaves.
But do you think that's why some restaurants have adopted the idea of open kitchens?
Yeah.
What, chef's table and all that sort of stuff where you can watch what's going on.
You can see what goes on. You see in our kitchen, for example, I've got one oven, 3 gas, and 1 flat top. That's it. That's all I've got. So I've got maybe a facility for cooking less than a normal house. Anybody in their house, they've got 6 burners because they've got a range. They've got 3 cookers or 3 ovens. They've got a microwaves and they've got a grill. I don't even have all that.
Really?
And I produce what I produce from raw. So it's different, but you get used to. Yeah, but but like you said, to come back to what you said about the evolution of the English chef has been amazing.
Mm.
It's, you've got. I think that's why France now, because they thought they were the best. They let it go.
Do you think the French chefs became complacent and
they became very arrogant, very complacent, and they didn't care anymore. Like, oh, we're the best anyway. And then suddenly, all the new boys came in, and they're doing better. So it's time for them to get their
bring it back up.
Yeah, and bring it back up. And that's why there is a new thing which is called Good de France, or Good France, and that has been promoted for the past 5 years. And chefs all over the world on the 21st of March. So every year is the same date. There is a massive dinner. So this year there was 3,000 chefs all over the world cooking on the same day, all their own menu to promote the French cooking.
Wow.
So it's very interesting. It's very different.
In one place or all over France?
No, all over the world.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So in England we had, I became part of that 5 years ago, and then we're doing it every year now, and it's to try to bring the French thing back together. French has never been good at promoting themselves. Everybody knows Prosecco. Nobody knows sparkling wine from France. Crémant de Bourgogne, which is as good, even better. Everybody knows Parma ham.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what jambon de Bayonne is. Everybody knows. Yeah,
Do you? What is it? What is it?
It's like
what was it?
Jambon de Bayonne.
Bayonne, yeah.
Oh,
It's
so
like
it's
French Parma ham,
okay, so
which is
yeah, which is an interesting thing, because the bigger brands they're not even brands, are they? They're a method.
Yeah, it's a name.
Yeah, like cheddar.
Yes.
And there are cheddar type cheeses all around the world, aren't there?
Like pancetta.
But isn't that one of those things that you can only call it cheddar if it's from cheddar now? Well, that's an EU thing, isn't it? So we can forget that soon.
Yeah, but I think there are certain things that missed out on that directive. I think Champagne managed to.
Champagne's
they were the first to.
Yeah, it's a region. Cheddar is not a region.
Cheddar is.
Yes, it is.
It's a place in
Is it?
Somerset.
Yeah, it's a gorge.
Sorry,
Cheddar Gorge.
I didn't know.
Well, that was one of the
It's
big
probably more than just a gorge.
controversies,
it's a town
though, wasn't
as well.
it? Because cheddar was, I think it was not allowed to, or you can have cheddar from anywhere.
Yes.
Canadian cheddar, for instance.
Yes.
And that was one of the big bugbears, wasn't it? That Champagne was allowed to sort of
Keep their name.
keep the name, control it, whereas something like cheddar wasn't. I'm sure there's other examples.
Do you know what I had the other day? I had a chicken Kiev in Kiev.
Did you?
Yeah, it was hideous.
Yeah, 1970s that was.
Oh, yeah.
Chicken Kiev. 1970s.
Were you
80s.
doing that for the sort of irony of it?
No, I like to. I've had a Bakewell tart in Bakewell. I've had a Melton Mulberry pork pie in Melton Mulberry. I'm sure there are French equivalents and other sort of dishes that are named after places that.
Yeah. Well, you have steak frites in Paris, don't you? Now that is andouille, but nobody knows what that is anyway.
Is that horrible sausage that explodes?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Yes.
And is it andouillette?
Andouillette is the one you put on the grill. Yes, it's made with offals.
That's hardcore.
Offals?
Yeah, awful.
Offal.
Have you seen one of those?
It's
Yes, I have.
quite pungent.
Somebody that I was eating with had one.
Yeah.
Because he loves offal. And I just remember, I saw it and I thought that it looks kind of tense and swollen. And he cut it and it just literally went.
I know, it's like sort of bursts open, doesn't it?
It's tripe and
Well,
God knows what.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
hardcore.
the best one are made with veal inside.
We ordered one once as a sort of experiment in a restaurant in France.
Yeah.
And so my father, who's now 80 and he'll try anything. He loves offal, he loves heart, he loves everything. He wouldn't touch it
No.
No, you have to.
because it just looked so unappetising.
You have to be born in France and
Yes.
know about it.
Yes.
It's something we have in a Barbie.
Do you eat
It
it?
has to be. Yeah. Oh yeah. I like it.
Of course.
I like it. It's when you pass the smell, it's okay. But it's like cheese. Cheese can be very strong.
Yeah.
And very pungent.
Yes, that's
true.
But then the taste is not strong.
No, that's true.
So
That's very true.
so it's very similar. And you have it with just Dijon mustard that andouillette, as we call it.
That is
But
an
he
amazing.
has to be crispy.
Right. So
If he's boiled and
the one I saw was boiled.
Yeah, me too.
But you can't have it like that. If it's like that, I can't eat it.
No.
He has to be crispy on the outside, like burn on the outside.
yeah.
And the inside becomes like crispy, so it's crispy tripe effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not as bad.
No, that doesn't sound as bad. Have you either of you done competitions? Have you ever entered either a pro chefing competition
time
or
ago,
a? Did you?
Yeah, long time ago. They didn't like it because I did a dish just like that, and they are not used to. Because chef, even if you see them, the big chefs, yeah, there is always bits and pieces they have to do, prepare and all that. And just ask me to do a dish, I will do it just like that in 2 seconds flat, because it's a different way of cooking. It's, for example, I go to the market, I buy produce, and I don't even know what I'm going to do with it, and I don't even know why I bought them. I
It's
come
just a
back,
feeling.
and I go back to the restaurant.
Like the skills test.
And I look at it and I said, what do I buy that for? And suddenly something pops up and I just put it together. So I'm sure you do the same anyway.
That's what I like about your restaurant.
Yeah.
I've only been a couple of times, but it's there's always interesting specials, which are obviously the whim of the chef,
Yeah,
which is nice.
What I fancy all the time.
Yeah. Have you competed in anything or been told to, or has anyone put your name forward and thought, Lucy,
No.
you need to go on MasterChef?
No.
No.
It's been suggested on a couple of occasions, but I just don't think I could. I think for me, it's just about the relaxation and doing it in a sort of relaxed, pleasurable way, rather than the sort of tension of. I just don't. I
It's a lot
don't
of
think.
pressure.
I don't think I'd enjoy that.
That's interesting.
That
what you
leap from just,
I
fiddling
find
around in
cooking
the
very
kitchen.
therapeutic.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
Which
so
is-
you do it to relax.
Yeah.
So if you do it to relax, you don't want to do competition.
Exactly.
No.
It won't work.
I like sort of pottering about and doing it in my own time. And
Have you got a signature dish that everyone says, "Oh, come on, do your signature dish thing"?
No, not really. I mean, no, not really. I think probably maybe roasts or something like that, or Sunday
What have you
roasts.
done most of apart from a roast?
God, I don't even know. I mean, probably Asian, like sort of Thai Asian food, I would say.
And
over the
how
years.
authentic do you go with that? Do you
Well,
do
I
you get
used
all
to-
of
I
the
used to go-
aubergines and
Yeah, I
all
used
of
to
these,
go much more authentic than I do now, because now you can sort of buy
pastes and things?
helpers that
Yeah.
are much more, much better than they used to be, much fresher than they used to be.
And I think you adapt as well according to your palate.
Yeah.
What do you cook at home?
Anything. I use a plancha at home, so it's outside.
A what?
A plancha. A plancha is like it's like a barbecue, but it's got no grill. So it's a flat top,
It's like a hot,
like a griddle.
like a hot plate.
Yeah.
Like a hot plate. So I cook anything on there, and it's faster, easier. It's outside, no smell in my kitchen. It's
That's
lovely.
true. Yeah. Frying and grilling and stuff in the house is not good, is
See,
it?
you can do, for example, bacon and eggs on that, and there is no fat. There is nothing. All the fat goes.
Mm.
So it's healthy, but you have bacon and eggs. So it's fun. And you can have fish, you can have whatever you want.
I fancied doing tempura one day, so I bought a deep fat fryer and I put it in my shed. And it stayed in there. I couldn't bring it in the house because it would ruin the carpet and everything forever.
Tempura is good.
Mm.
Everybody put that to Japanese, but it was invented by the Portuguese. So it's a Portuguese dish that went to Tokyo or Japan and then developed it there. And that's where it comes from, Portugal. It's interesting, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
What you got plans for changing your restaurant for the future? What are you going to be doing? Are you just going to keep the model? You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. Or
I think we change all the time. It's, you know, the menu is always the same anyway because there's the classics on there, but we change the way we work. I think.
Was L'Etoile yours?
No,
that was before, wasn't it?
It was before. It was Key Star. Key Star used to have Étoile.
Hence the name.
Yeah.
Étoile.
Yes.
And he used to have Star Bistro opposite Le Chien qui fume in Molesey.
Oh.
So he had two, and he had another one in Isha.
Is that still there,
No.
Shank?
Le Chien qui fume, no, I don't think so. I think it's closed now.
Because that always looks like it always looked like a really nice looking place.
Luigi retired, I think.
Yeah.
One of the brother. The other one must have retired before. And he used to do, but I don't know if he still does it. He used to do, with a double decker, he used to do all the 24 hours of Le Mans and racing things and things like that.
Hence the Ferrari flag outside.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's what they used to do. I've known them since 83 because I went to work there for a bit.
Do you think there should be more restaurants around here, more good restaurants? Because I'd actually think there are enough good restaurants for the amount of people that would probably go to them.
There is a choice, isn't it? A restaurant you've got just in our street and in that little square where we are.
Yeah.
In the, well, people call it Hampton Court Village, whatever. Yeah. But it is in a way, because why is it called Hampton Court Village? Because in the old days, when they built the palace, it was the village. That's where the party was. That's where the pub were. That's where they used to hang people.
Yeah.
So that's the real village of Hampton Court. But it's talking back years and years ago. And then in the area, like I was saying, I don't know, there is about 30 restaurants, 30 places where you can eat.
Mm. That's the thing, the difference. Because there have been places that have kind of popped up and failed, haven't they? Even in Thames Ditton, there was a tapas bar, wasn't there, a couple of years ago? It
was the Italian as well. The
Italian, yeah.
boys.
I don't know the one in I don't know the tapas in Thames Ditton. Was it in one of the pubs?
It was the Italian
in the village
next to the Italian.
Yeah, in the village there was a little Italian. It was downstairs and upstairs, wasn't
Yes.
In Thames Ditton.
Mm.
Oh.
And it was really expensive, and inconsistent. That's probably why it's not there now.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I think if you get a street like Bridge Road where there's Petit Nantais and Dar and Mezet and, you know, you get a sort of little hardcore of good restaurants, then it could probably stand to have one or two more because people will come to that street as a destination.
Yeah. The more there is, the better. When we were on our own, when we started, there was us, there was Louise. Louise, a long time ago.
Is that where the Thai? That's where the Thai is, isn't it?
No.
Isn't it?
No. Louise. Yes, maybe it was the Thai. Yeah, Louise was the Thai.
Mm.
There was Lanterne, which was a French restaurant.
Yes,
the Lanterne.
I remember that one now.
Bistro Étoile. And there was the three pubs.
Tony Romer's.
4 pubs.
Tony Romer's, yeah.
Yeah, there was 4 pubs.
Yeah.
Down there.
The streets of London.
The street, yeah.
So what was the fourth one? The Albion, the Prince,
there was
the
one
Streets of London.
There was the one at the corner where Night's closed.
Where Cloud Nine was. That was Tony Romer's. Was it Powell's?
Ferryboat
Powell's and the Joshua Tree.
It was Ferryboat Inn, wasn't it?
Ferryboat Inn.
Oh, that was across the road by the station.
But there was a pub there, and it was a wine and dance. So it was a pub downstairs, and it was a wine and dance upstairs. So there was a restaurant upstairs and the pub downstairs.
Yes.
And there used to be the Greek restaurant where Pizza Express is now. Yes. And it was a wine and dance as well, completely at the back.
Yes.
There was the stage, and it was Greek there.
See, I think the wine and dance thing should come back, shouldn't it? Don't you think? I think you should do it. Mind you have got a dance floor in your place. Is it a dance floor?
Not really.
They do the. Do they do the?
Is that a bar or a DJ booth?
It's a little bar at the back.
They do the entertainment at what used to be the Vecchia Roma, though, don't they?
Yeah.
With this, do they do the singers in there? And
what, one man and a Bontempi organ?
They have sort of tribute acts.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, which I've never been to, but they look quite amusing.
Yeah, but we do that sometime. We got a guy that does, what's his name? Frank Sinatra.
Do you
Oh,
still
yes.
have the lady with the
No,
accordion?
unfortunately, she's
Oh.
not well. She's 83 now.
Is
and,
she?
Yeah.
What,
so
an accordion lady?
Yeah, we have to.
She was great.
She was good fun. She was good fun.
So I think music and music and dining, dinner and dance should come back.
Well, especially in a restaurant like yours, which is such a sort of beautiful spot, and the classic sort of French accordion player. It was just the sort of
And more fairy lights than I've seen even in the Far East at
you can
Christmas.
see it from space.
Well, they come and they stay, and then we had more, and then we like fairy lights because there is a reason behind the fairy lights.
Okay.
Is because there was too many rugby shirts, so it was for boys only. And
Oh, right. So you sort of flowered up with some
and my wife
fairy
said,
lights.
you know what, enough of those rugby shirts, so let's put some fairy lights, and then it will be a bit for the girls too.
So have you covered up the rugby shirts with the fairy lights? So the rugby shirts are still there?
We took some rugby shirts out.
Ah, that's a shame.
So there is about, 25 rugby shirts that disappeared, and there's only a few left.
The important ones.
Are you into? Are you a drinker? Do you like wine? And
I do like wine, yes. Very
Are
much.
you a connoisseur? Does it go with your your skills in the kitchen? Do you know what you like?
Yeah.
And do you spend money on wine, and do you buy good wine?
I think so. I mean, yeah. I mean, certain people would say that I'm not a connoisseur, but yeah. I mean, I think I quite I'd like to think that I know what goes with what, and I know what I like. That's for sure.
I think the most important is that.
Yeah.
Is enjoying what you're drinking. It doesn't matter how much it costs.
Do you know what? I don't think I've ever in my whole life bought the same bottle of wine twice.
Really?
Oh. So you don't have something you like in particular?
I'm not a particularly rum. I prefer rum, which
Okay.
is probably another podcast completely if we did a rum one.
Gosh.
But I'm not. I know what good wine tastes like. I think, but I've never gone into a supermarket and gone, oh, I've had that before. I'll try that again. I'm a sucker for the labels because I used to be a graphic designer and I used to do packaging. So I'll go into a supermarket and look up and go,
I like
that's
that
a
too.
nice label.
Yeah.
What if it disappoints you though when you get it open?
I don't think I'm that good at wine to kind of because I just have the habit of never buying the same thing twice. It's just a hit or miss thing. Oh, okay. Is that weird? Do you think?
I don't think it's weird. I think it's quite unusual. Because I think you have your sort of I don't know what you call them, your sort of staples that you know you like, and then you might go to Majestic and say, well, try this, or they talk you into trying something new or something different. Or
Yesterday I spoke to JP and asked him to do this, and in his bar at the back he's got more rums than I've ever seen. Unusual rums, not. I mean, you get these kind of theme pubs and these kind of churned out kind of pubs.
Yeah, Captain Morgan.
Chains and they were just buying as many kind of cash and carry rums as they can get their hands on, just to make it look good. It's completely different from the gin thing.
Yeah.
But the rums you've got are quite spectacular, and you've got your own.
Yeah, I make my blend. So I blend.
Did you name it?
Yes, OCPB.
OCPB.
Yeah.
Something.
What's that stand for?
OPCB, sorry. It stands for, in French, Oh putain c'est bon. Which is, oh, that's very good. There's a word in between.
Oh shit, that's really good.
Yeah, something a bit
Something
stronger.
like that.
What, say it again? What was it?
Something a bit stronger. You know, like the famous chef that swears all the time. This is one of those words.
Oh, right, okay. So, yeah. Oh, look, my
So we
sleeve has come up.
We can't really say anything. But it's a blend of 4 rums. So I blend it to make people understand that rum doesn't have to be as harsh and it can be softer to drink, and it doesn't have to burn your.
Yeah,
Because that was the principle. Is somebody came in a restaurant and he said to me, "Oh, I want a drink." I said, "Well, fine. What would you like?" And I said, "Well, you can have a rum if you want." I said, "No, I won't have rum. They're too strong." And I said to him, "Well, okay, I make you try something different and see what happens." And then since then, he's hooked on it and he loves it. So
I'm kind of conscious that you're running out of time, JP, because you've got lots to do and there's babies around the place and
there's
and
a new granddaughter.
the Hampton Court garden show, as it's now called, is on.
Garden Festival.
Yeah, I think that's because they realised that people were complaining about the fact that there are hardly any flowers there.
Is it not called the Flower Show
It's not
anymore?
called the Flower Show anymore because it's just like a massive garden centre.
Yeah.
It's a flower festival.
It's a market.
It's the big, the woman, the big boss that decided to change the name.
Yeah.
It's not Hampton Court Flower Show. It's Hampton Court Festival.
It should be the Hampton Court Garden Centre.
Garden Centre.
You pay all that money and you go in and
You might as well go to Squires.
buy things. Yeah, go to Squires. It's cheaper. Yeah. Would you both come back and do more food ones? Would you come back in a couple of weeks and do more of this?
If you want.
Sure.
Why not?
And then sort of get down into talking about ingredients and
Nitty-gritty.
And because I feel like this is kind of just skimmed off the surface of food. Because
Okay.
I want to talk more
Sure.
about food,
Yeah.
and I think people that watch this will probably
Okay.
want some tips. They want something from you.
Great.
No, there's no problem. Easy.
We could talk through a recipe. You could kind of memorize it and go, right, then you do this and then you do that. Give people something to do for the evening.
Yeah. We can teach them how to do an onion soup.
An onion soup. I would like to know that. What would you throw into the pot, if you excuse the pun? Do you know what I would do? Spanish tortilla.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
No, that's mine.
Oh, okay. Can I have that one?
JP's got French onion soup. I've got tortilla.
Okay,
And you
I'll do
can-
something British then.
Yeah. No pressure.
Oh God, I don't know.
Yorkshire pudding.
We won't actually show us
Yorkshire
doing
pudding. There you go.
it.
A good
Oh.
Yorkshire pudding. Perfect one.
That's hard.
Well,
I'd like to know that as well.
Shepherd's pie.
Okay, shepherd's pie. Yeah.
Cottage pie.
So could you describe how to do these? We won't be obviously cooking,
It's very quick.
but we can just describe
Yeah.
how these things happen.
Yeah.
I will tell you 3 ingredients: onion soup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that.
Butter, onions,
Oh, you're doing it
white
now.
wine. That's
Okay.
it.
Butter, onions, white wine. Okay.
Salt and pepper. Well, that's normal, but that's not as such an ingredient.
Okay, we've jumped into this straight away.
It's very quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, that's what I said.
Well, it's interesting because
It's
tortilla
come
is
up
only
with something a bit more complicated.
tortilla is only olive oil, onions, potatoes,
Yeah.
salt and pepper.
Yeah. You
But
can,
it's-
you
you
could
see,
sort of
it's-
pimp it though, couldn't you?
You see, it's always the same. Is
I wouldn't.
you give the ingredients.
Purist.
You give the ingredients, and then after that is the technique how to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the part.
I think my husband would say that I would always overcomplicate something. Because
Is that because you do stuff so often you get a bit bored and you want to kind of put a
I
little
just
bit of
sort
flourish
think,
in there?
Yeah,
Yes, and get some red peppers will go well in there.
exactly.
That's what you would do to my
I would.
my tortilla, and I wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's, you see, that is the creation of you, and that is the adding up.
Yeah.
For me, the best way of doing anything, you open a book, you look at the recipe, you close the book, and you leave it in your brain for a month or two, and then you recreate, but your own way.
I think that's if you're confident that works. I don't personally use recipe books. I just literally get the rough idea of what's going on, and then I go freeform.
So you're
And
confident.
luckily it comes out. But I think if you're doing sweet stuff, sweet and pastry and stuff like that,
No, but
it's
that
much
you-
more precise,
that you
isn't
can't.
it?
That's a bit more of a science, isn't it?
That you can't.
You can't go all kind of
Freestyle. No.
No, you can't do that. That is chemical chemistry. So he has to be very precise to the gram.
Yeah.
And then everything goes wrong otherwise.
Yes.
Not very good at puddings.
No, me neither. You're savoury kind of.
I think
go.
probably for that reason, because if I'm less precise, I'm more of a sort of
Yeah, because you
intuitive,
want
so
to create, and
yeah.
then is very different. I'm a saucier. I like to do sauces. So that's my forte. And then from then everything goes around my sauce.
Oh, I love a good sauce. I don't. I'm quite limited with my sauces.
It's so easy.
Yeah, you just have to know, don't you? You have to be shown.
Like I said to everybody, I said, because you're at home, you don't have the stock and all that. But you can use Bisto, you can use Oxo, but instead of using water, use some wine. And you can use white or you can use red. And you don't have to use red only, you can use white as well, depending of the dishes you're doing.
Because sometimes when you do an amazing sauce, when you sort of I stumble across a combination that tastes really good, it's just like the most amazing intense soup, isn't it? It's just perfect when you know you got it right.
Yeah, but you see people are too much in a hurry always. When you do a sauce, you have to let it reduce. Then you concentrate all the sucs together, and then you get your sauce. Before the sauce, it's like doing...
So it needs time.
In technical terms, it's like doing a glass or a demi-glace, yes?
Yes.
But people are not even doing that. They are doing a jus. A jus is liquid, so you have a jus in your plate. Well, it's not going to taste anything because it doesn't even have time to reduce and absorb all the flavors. And that's what it's all about.
I'm going to ask you both one last question because I know. Yeah,
Sorry.
that was 10 minutes ago. Was the last question. Right, I've got these duck breasts in the fridge. What would you do with those tonight? If you had those duck breasts in your fridge, how would you cook them?
Well, being slightly obsessed with Asian food, I would do them with... I'd put some soy and ginger and honey and a bit of garlic and just sit them in that for the day, and then I'd roast them. And the sauce should sticky up and juice a little bit.
Would you score the skin or do anything like that?
Actually, yeah, I would score the skin and then probably sear them and then put them in an oven.
That sounds good. What would you do, JP? With my chicken breasts? Not chicken breasts,
Chicken
my
or duck?
my duck breasts. Sorry.
Duck breast.
Yeah.
I score them little squares.
Yes.
Salt on it. Yeah. Put them in a pan. No fat. Very hot pan. Yeah. Let it...
Render?
So skim down.
Yes.
And let it go. And then all the fat will come out. So when it's hot to start with, and then you drop the temperature, otherwise it will burn. And then it won't work. Turn it over the other side for 1 minute. Put it in the oven for about 5. Take it out. And then let it rest. And then after you slice it, but very thinly, because it's...
Then you would do a sauce, wouldn't you?
And then you do the sauce. And then you do the sauce with a sweet wine like Muscat or Sauterne and a bit of pink pepper.
Right. It's lucky I've got two of these breasts because I might do one your style and one your style.
So
I could be in the
kitchen.
might be serving up till midnight, but
Pink pepper, and if you go in the shop, you might get a little bit of.
Is that like pink peppercorns?
like Szechuan.
No.
Oh,
Pink pepper. So it's bay rose.
So it's almost perfumed. No.
It's called bay rose. It's
Bay
pink
rose.
pepper. You can buy them anywhere.
Okay.
Is it less harsh than green and black?
It's a lot softer.
Yeah.
It's more
Pink
delicate.
pepper.
Yeah. And then you have a little.
Have you got that in yours?
Yeah.
In your
I think
kitchen?
I've got some in the cupboard, yeah.
Bit of butter.
Not that I've used it, but...
It's good. And when you do a pepper sauce as well for steak, for example, you can use that too. You can use black, green, pink, bit of white, crush a bit.
Would the pink peppercorns colour the sauce? Do they make the sauce pink?
Not really.
No.
The problem is if you leave it too long, the pink color disappears. So it's nice to put a little bit on the top, fresh one.
How good are your knives? I keep asking questions.
Knives.
Yeah, we've got 3 minutes before the battery runs out.
I've got Japanese knife.
Have you? What, expensive?
No, it don't have to be expensive.
Super sharp?
Extremely sharp, but it don't have to be expensive. I bought a set of knives that I use at the moment in, TK Maxx.
Oh yes.
Yeah, $9.95
Yes.
for one knife,
That's where I got my knife.
and it's really good. But if you know how to sharpen it, very easy. If you have a stone, you rub it 10 times the same way, 5 times the other way. That's it.
Okay, to take the edge off, so you're
And
burring it in one direction. That's engineering, isn't it?
And then when you touch the knife, you have to feel it with your finger, and then there will be a curve.
Yes.
Yes. So if there is a curve, if you push the curve back, then you'll have a feel. It's called a feel in French. The feel is the feel of the sharpness of the knife. So if you just touch with your finger, you rub your finger against the knife, and you know if it's rounded one side or rounded the other side, or if it's very sharp in the middle. But then there is two ways of knives: either a V knife or a knife with one flat edge,
Right.
like the Japanese one.
Yeah.
The Japanese
yes.
is like this and is like that. Yeah.
You got good knives?
Yeah, quite good. Yeah.
Do you find that when you go on holiday and you rent a place, they always have shitty knives?
I take my own with me.
Do you?
Yeah. I always take a good knife and a good peeler and some basic sort of herbs and spices.
Oh, you take spices, basics.
It's just basics. Yeah.
Yeah, good idea. Right, we're going to stop. We've got to stop.
Okay.
Can we come back? Will you come back, please?
Yeah.
Will you do this again
Sure.
in a week or so? Thank you.
No problem.
JP, Lucy, see you again soon.